Today, I'll be looking into my crystal ball and sharing with you my Kickstarter predictions for 2020. Thank you for joining me today at Tantrum House Studio D. I'm Kevin Delp. There's been some big announcements of board games that will be launching on Kickstarter in 2020. I thought it'd be fun in this video to pick 10 of them that I think are going to be some of the biggest ones. And for each of them, I will predict how much money I think each of them will earn on Kickstarter. And at the end of the video, I'll share some honorable mentions too. I'd love to hear your thoughts. So in the comments below, tell me whether you agree, disagree, tell me what you think some of them will earn. Let's get started on today's video. Transhumanity from Mindclash Games. Mindclash Games has put out a number of good games that I've truly enjoyed. Tricurion and Anachrony. Transhumanity is another sci-fi game, and they say it's where Earth was mysteriously torn from its orbit, and this event was called The Leap. It's up to your group to figure out the mystery. I think this campaign will raise at least $750,000. This is a story-driven co-op campaign game. Each game is based on an open card drafting mechanism, and the campaign will gradually unveil the truth behind the leap and leads to an epic conclusion. The game is based on an award-winning science fiction novel by Brandon Hackett. Number 9. Wonderland War from Druid City Games and Skybound Games. This is going to be kickstarted in February. It's a drafting, bag building, area control game for 2 to 5 players, and I think this campaign will raise at least $1 million. You take the role as a faction leader who has been invited to the Hatter's Tea Party. Drink tea and eat cake as you move around the table, drafting cards to gather forces, build your towers, upgrade your leader, and recruit Wonderlandians to your cause.
Number 8.
Return to Dark Tower from Restoration Games. This Kickstarter will be launching in January. It is a co-op game for 1 to 4 players. It takes about 1 to 2 hours to play, and I think this campaign will raise at least $1 million. This is a sequel to the 1981 game Return to Dark Tower. Players take on the roles of heroes to gather resources, raise buildings, defeat monsters, and undertake quests to build up their strength and discern what foe ultimately awaits them. When the heroes face the tower, the game shifts into its dramatic second act, where the players have one chance to defeat the enemy once and for all. The game features traditional game mechanisms, such as engine building, resource management, paired with a technological interface unlike any seen before in games, including the tower, which holds more than a few secrets. Number 7. Hell, the Last Saga from Mythic Games. I'm not exactly sure when this Kickstarter will launch. This is for 2 to 4 players. It takes about 1 to 2 hours to play. It's a semi-co-op survival horror Viking-themed board game, and I think this campaign will raise at least $1.25 million. You'll lead a small group of survivors, each with their own background and secret motives. The players must cooperate if they want to survive the immediate dangers of cold, hunger, and external threats. But they will have to also complete their inner quest to be worthy of the saga that will retain their name. The mechanisms mix resource management, worker placement, but also secret objectives and combat.
Number 6.
Oath from Leader Games is kickstarting January 14th. It's for 1 to 5 players. It takes about 60 to 90 minutes to play, and I think this campaign will raise at least $1.5 million. Players might take on the role of agents, bolstering the old order or scheme to bring the kingdom to ruin. The consequences of one game will ripple through those that follow, changing what resources and actions future players may have at their disposal, and even altering the game's core victory condition. Number 5. Mortal Kombat 11, coming from Jasco Games. I'm not exactly sure when this Kickstarter will launch, sometime in 2020. It's for 2 to 6 players, takes about 30 to 180 minutes for each game, and I think this campaign will raise at least $2 million. This game was originally going to be Mortal Kombat 10, but now that 11 is out, they're switching it to the new version. These will come with pre-painted minis just like they had in their Street Fighters game.
Number 4.
ISS Vanguard from Awaken Realms. I'm not exactly sure when this one will launch, but pretty sure from Awaken Realms, and I think this Kickstarter will raise at least $3 million. There's not a lot of information about the gameplay yet, but there is a lot of art pieces that they're showing off. What we do know is a campaign, sandbox play, and cooperative. It also has some combat, and they want to do something that's unique that will make a huge statement. You can follow more on their ISS Vanguard Facebook page. Number 3. UNK Gods of Egypt from CMON will be launching pretty soon, probably January, might be February, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be their next Kickstarter campaign. This is the third game in the series of games from Eric Lang. The first one was Blood Rage, and then Rising Sun, one of my favorite games from 2018. And they both are ranked in the top 100 board games on BGG. They're both great games. I think this one's going to be pretty big. I am predicting $4 million. $4 million on Kickstarter for this one. Play as a god of ancient Egypt competing to survive as society begins to forget the old ways so that only you and your followers remain. Build caravans, summon monsters, and convert followers in your quest to reign supreme in Ankh, Gods of Egypt. Deities, monsters, and the people of ancient Egypt have been lovingly reimagined and interpreted in beautiful illustrations and detailed miniatures.
Number 2.
Frosthaven from Cephalofair Games. This Kickstarter will be in March 2020. You might be familiar with Gloomhaven. I think this Kickstarter will bring in at least $5 million. That's what I'm saying. $5 million for Frosthaven. Frosthaven is a standalone adventure from the designer and publisher of Gloomhaven that features 16 new characters, 3 new races, more than 20 new enemies, more than 100 new items, and a new 100 scenario campaign. In addition to having the well-known combat mechanisms of Gloomhaven, Frosthaven will feature much more to do outside of combat, such as numerous mysteries to solve, a seasonal event system to live through, and player control over how this ramshackle village expands, with each new building offering new ways to progress. Number 1. 7th Citadel from Serious Poulp. This is probably going to launch sometime middle of the year, not exactly sure when. It's a 1 to 4 player co-op adventure game that I think is going to raise $6 million on Kickstarter. This will take place in a new, unique, dark fantasy world. The gameplay will be significantly enhanced compared to the 7th Continent. This is a choose-your-own-adventure exploration board game. You choose a character and begin your adventure on your own or with a team of explorers. In a land fraught with danger and wonders, you have to use every ounce of wit and cunning to survive, crafting tools, weapons, and shelter to ensure your survival. Alright, let's talk about some honorable mentions. There's Viscounts of the West Kingdom from Garphill. It's the third in their West Kingdom series after Architects and Paladins. I think it's going to raise $500,000. Tortuga 2199 from Grey Fox Games. It's a deck building game with the theme of pirates in space. I think this one's going to raise $450,000. Dead Reckoning from AEG, a game of exploration and piracy designed by John D. Clare and illustrated by Ian O'Toole. I think this is going to raise $400,000. Rocketmen from Phalanx, designed by Martin Wallace. Fast-paced race to the final frontier. A deck-building confrontation of swift decision-making and tactical choices. I think it's going to raise between $300,000 to $400,000. Dragonball Z, a combination of CMON and IDW. Dragonball Z Miniature Mayhem will be fast-paced, dice-driven battle royale. I think it's going to raise a lot. I'm not exactly sure how much. Kingdoms Forlorn from Into the Unknown, who did Aeon's Trespass Odyssey, raised over $1 million. Not sure if this is going to be launching this year or next, so I didn't really include that one in the list. Conan Beyond the Monolith already is live, so I didn't include that in this list, but I'm sure it's going to do pretty well. But Mythic Battles Ragnorok is also coming from Monolith. That might be a pretty big campaign too, but I don't have that much data on it yet, so I didn't guess. And one more campaign that I want to mention that technically isn't a board game, but it sort of is Teburu. It's described as a board game electronic console system. CMON is bringing this to Kickstarter sometime in 2020. You place the game pieces on this electronic map, and it sends signals to the iPad and leads you through the game. The system detects what your dice results are going to be, and one of the best things are that you can connect to people around the world and play the same game at the same time, and the system tracks all of it. I have no idea how much this campaign's gonna raise, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a lot of money. I would love to hear your thoughts. Like I said at the beginning of the video, well, first, what huge Kickstarters did I miss? Tell me about those in the comments. Which ones did I talk about that you think I'm way off on? Tell me that as well. Oh, man, I think this is going to be a pretty amazing 2020 for Kickstarter, so I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. And as always, we'd love for you to subscribe to our channel, Tantrum House, and check out all our other videos that we keep putting out.